Hey guys, my name is Lucas and welcome back to the studio. So today we will be using some of FL Studio's stock plugins to make some really nice strings. Let's get to it. So in FL Studio we have two plugins. We have one called Directwave and we have one called Flex. Both of them has really great strings within them, so let's just use them. So for the purpose of this video I have already been making some chords just to have something to work with. They sound like this. Really open and huge, perfect for strings. So the first string we are going to take is, we are going to this pack selection right here. Then we want to go to instruments and orchestral. Then we have two types of strings. We have the string section and the string solo. We are going to use both of them. So let's just drag them in. The first one is routed to channel number 1 and the second one to channel number 2. And let's just take these chords, Control X if you're on Windows, and then Control V right here. So if we listen to the string section, let's just turn it down a bit. Really nice. So what I want to do with the chords is to go to this arrow right here in the piano roll, Tools and Strum. By using Strum we can kind of control the volume of each note. Let's just do like this, and now it sounds amazing. So what we want to do now is to take the two upper notes and copy them into the strings solo. And the string solo by itself sounds like this. So it is very humanized. So the way that we're going to mix these two before we put more layers on is to take the one left and take the other right. So now it sounds like this. The next thing we want to do is to add the plugin called Flex, also from FL Studio. In Flex we have the essential strings and we have the all strings sustain. Make sure to take off the delay and reverb. And then we basically want to copy all of these notes into the Flex plugin. Let's route it to number 3. And let's listen to it. It is really nice and warm, but because we already have some low end from the two, first we want to find a high pass filter. And if we mix the new Flex layer into the others, it sounds like this. So the next thing I want to do is to add some bottom end. So we are going to take the all string sustain and clone this plugin. Let's just route it to number 4, and then we want to add the bass sustain. Then we take the lower note of each chord and copy into the bass sustain. And that sounds like this. Make sure to take off the reverb and let's just narrow it down so we have it in the center. And when we mix it in together with the rest, it sounds like this. Maybe we should take up the volume, just like that. So this is kind of the foundation of our strings. Now I want to make two more layers, one that is panned hard right and one that is panned hard left. Let's just clone this Flex one more time. And now we want to take the upper layer of each chord, just like that. And then we want to find maybe a cello sustain. And let's route it to number 5. That sounds like this. And again, because we want to pan it ourselves, we might as well just narrow it. And before we do anything else, let's just clone this cello number 6, channel number 6, and let's choose a violin sustain, just like that. And we want to clone these notes into the violin as well. So now we have a violin and a cello. And also we need to remove the reverb from the violin and also narrow it. Let's just make sure that this is also done on the cello. Remove the reverb, yes. Okay, so now we want to pan one of them left and one of them right, just like this. And we want them to be the same volume. Approximately right here. But what we want to do now is to go into the cello and turn the pitch 1200 cents up. And we want to do the same to the viola. And now when we mix them in with the rest, I'll just quickly rename all of these insert channels so we can figure out what is what. Okay, so now I have renamed all of them. We still have the same thing going on, as you can hear. So what we want to do now is to route them all to the same channel. Let's just call it all strings out. So now every single signal from the strings come out of this bus channel before it goes to the master. So of course the first thing is to equalize this. So we want to select a high pass. So now we have a really nice big string sound. And if you are new to EQing, I have made a video the other day on all the basics you need to know if you don't know EQing. I will link it right here, but also in the description down below. But let's get moving. So now we have this really, really nice sounding string. So now we want to play around with the stereo image. So for that one we need to go to Maximus because I want to separate the frequencies. Let's start by the low frequencies. And let's solo them, and we want to be around 120 Hz and below. And we want to make it not entirely mono, but we really want it to be almost mono. Then we want to play around with the mids. But when I play around with the highs, when I'm doing strings, I really like to do it when I am also listening to the rest. And then of course we need to take the master and just turn everything up stereo-wise. So this is really the basics of it. So now we can, for instance, add some compression to it. And let's just finish this off with some reverb. And you can of course make so many different effects if you would like to. But that was pretty much it. This is how you can make strings in FL Studio with stock plugins. You can really get a long way with this, I guess. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I will be making more videos, more tutorials like this in the future. And comment if you have any suggestions or any questions, and I will see you. Goodbye.